ultimate guide on how to get this through the Mr. Darcy technique, okay? Are you ready? Are you sitting down? Alright, writing it, okay? You know, actually today I was about to make a very different video. Today I was about to go guns blazing, full of anger, tackling misogyny in the film industry, right? I was gonna point to a lot of the filmmakers who are men who have done really misogynistic themes and misconduct, and it's a very big shadow on cinema, film history, and the film industry. And I will still make that video. But I crashed emotionally. I was guns blazing and then I crashed. Because you know what? Sometimes it really is exhausting to deal with these topics all the time. And ironically, a lot of times it's not even my intention. Like the experience of being a woman and going into films blindly, trying to just find new filmmakers and films, it can a lot of times lead you to being like, dear God, what did I just see? Why is this so prominent in so many films, right? I need 1 week about just something nice, okay? So, we're gonna talk about something real nice. We're gonna talk about Mr. Darcy. So what about Mr. Darcy? Makes girls go tee-hee. You see all over YouTube, there's so many Pride and Prejudice videos. You see it TikTok, Instagram, that Pride and Prejudice is truly a cultural phenomenon. It came out in 2005 and yet it's still so relevant. Well, you know, the book came out way before 2005. I have not read the book, I'm sorry. I know, I've only seen the film. You know, one of those guys. The film truly is perfection, my dude. Like, I love many films. However, only because I love a film, I will not say that it's perfect. Pride and Prejudice, directed by Joe Wright, 2005. It's a perfect film, I gotta say. Except for that one scene, for some reason, it always bewilders me. Where they just pan to the mother looking at the father walking by, and they zoom in on a pig's testicles. And to this day, this truly does astound me. Like, why? How? And why? Did this make the final cuts? I'm very confused about it. What was the idea behind it? I don't know. The genius to Joe Wright is a mystery to me. Besides that one offense, yes, I think Pride and Prejudice is a perfect film. So I've seen Pride and Prejudice, let's say like hundreds of times, honestly. One day it just dawned on me. The thing that makes Mr. Darcy really special, I'll give you the answer, okay? The ultimate guide on how to get bitches through the Mr. Darcy technique. Are you ready? Are you sitting down? Alright, writing it, okay? He listens. He listens to Elizabeth's criticisms and he quite quickly takes it in, absorbs it, and then applies it to his behavior. It happens about 3 or 4 times in the film, and it happens so beautifully. It's truly amazing, and just thinking of the world where Jane Austen comes from, and also even today, I see this all over like Instagram and wherever it may be where I'm like reading people's comments. There's so many somehow men that feel very disenfranchised in the dating world or something. Disenfranchised, not the word, but they're feeling like very bitter. And a lot of men are like, women only want a guy that has a 6-pack and that he's making a 6-figure salary and he's 6 foot. Right? The 6'6", 6 figures, and he's 6 foot. And if you don't have those things, fellas, no girl's gonna like you. And I always think that's insane, because I know there are girlies out there that truly are dating to like gain more capital, gain more like access to wealth. And you know, that's a thing in itself. But you know what? I tell you, lots of girls, that's not the things that women are really looking for. But the thing is, Mr. Darcy is rich, you know, but funnily enough, that's not even why Elizabeth likes him. And that's literally the point of Pride and Prejudice. I think Elizabeth, unless I'm wrong, she seems to be prejudiced against, or maybe they're both Pride and Prejudice, okay? But she kind of does have like a lot of mistrust out of the fact that he's rich.
I have a hankering to see it.
Oh no, let's not. What, he's so... I'd rather not. He's so... So what? He's so rich.
The poor man can't help it.
It's not just on her end, he also perpetuates it by first being rude and weird. There's even a scene after Mr. Darcy's like, she's not that cute to his friend, thinking that she's not listening and she hears it. And then her friend's like, God, he sucks. And Elizabeth's like, yeah, bro, like, I wouldn't even want to be with him for all of his mansions. Like, so truly, even the pressures of a society where all a woman could do was truly to get married, that was not what Jane Austen and Elizabeth were going into, okay? It's a bit of a fantasy, of course, as girlies like, oh my gosh, I just happened to fall for a guy that's really rich and has a mansion. But that's not why Elizabeth likes him. And I'll argue that's not why girlies galore are going goo goo gaga for Mr. Darcy, okay? It really isn't. In my head, 100% Mr. Darcy is like a Scorpio man. And Elizabeth, she's a Taurus. And if you disagree, well, I'm sorry to say you're wrong. Because Elizabeth is like, she is a lot more social, outgoing. She's really blunt, like an earth sign would be. And critical, like an earth sign would be. Also going into like Elizabeth or signiness, she's always like wearing earthy browns. And on Keira Knightley looks so stunning with her brown eyes and her brown hair. Gorgeous, gorgeous girl. And Mr. Darcy's just gloomy, antisocial. You gotta get past his crusty exterior to get into the gooey underneath. And that is so Scorpio. And he's also always like, if anyone loses my respect once, I'm never getting it back.
Maybe it's that I find it hard to forgive the follies and vices of others, or their offences against me. My good opinion once lost is lost forever.
That's so Scorpio. I love his rendition of Mr. Darcy. I think he's so perfect at playing like this gloomy little guy who's kind of antisocial and awkward, but he really likes Elizabeth. And even though he says the wrong thing, he's like, oh, he's hurt when Elizabeth doesn't like him back. His rendition of that, amazing. And he doesn't have Riz. No, Mr. Darcy is very awkward and weird, and a lot of times put his foot in the mouth. In the mouth. Even when he proposes to Elizabeth, he's like insulting her so much. Like, oh, you're poor. But you know what? I can look over that because I like you.
I have fought against my better judgment, my family's expectation, the inferiority of your birth, my rank, the circumstance, all these things that I'm willing to put them aside and ask you to end my agony.
I don't understand.
I love you.
And Elizabeth's like, what the f***, man? And Elizabeth herself, she's flawed, because I do think there's moments where she does take the whole criticism thing just a little too far, I gotta say. Like, it's not really halfway through the film where we find out that he admits of like, I'm not good at talking to people, that's why I'm so off-putting and weird.
I do not have the talent of conversing easily with people I have never met before.
Perhaps you should take your aunt's advice and practice.
But he still tries, and that's what matters. He tries, and he tries imperfectly, without perfection, and I think that's very beautiful to see throughout the entire film. Like, it truly is a timeless thing for women to see throughout the years. A man truly listening to Elizabeth's criticisms of his behavior and applying them to his behavior once again.
Will you dance, Mr. Darcy?
Not if I can help it.
Example 1. Elizabeth asks Darcy to dance, and immediately he's like, I don't want to do that shit, I don't like it.
So what do you recommend to encourage affection?
Dancing.
Oh, poetry is what I like, but she likes dancing. And what does Mr. Darcy do? Mr. Darcy later on in the film makes a point to go up to Elizabeth and ask her to dance.
May I have the next dance, Miss Elizabeth?
May.
Yes, we often walk to Merton. Great opportunity to meet new people.
Keep that in mind, guys. first act, I think, of the film, Elizabeth says, I love to walk. She walks to his house. Keep that in mind. It's not like a perfection thing. It's not like they completely change who they are. They still are who they are with their flaws and everything. He still tries to do the thing that Elizabeth mentions is the way to woo her. He's listening and he's trying, okay?
I do not have the talent of conversing easily with people I have never met before.
Perhaps you should take your aunt's advice and practice.
Moment 2, right? Elizabeth points out, like, he was a bit rude and did not ask any girl to dance. And then Mr. Darcy, like, you can see he's a bit insecure the fact that Elizabeth does not like this about him. And he admits to his insecurity. He admits to his shortcoming that he does not talk to people easily at the first time. And then this scene happens.
Mr. Darcy.
This is a charming house. I believe my aunt did a great deal to it when Mr. Collins first arrived.
Shall I call for some tea?
No, thank you. Good day, Miss Elizabeth. It's been a pleasure.
Very awkwardly and shyly trying to go out of his way to initiate conversation with Elizabeth. Quite literally doing the things Elizabeth said, practicing and putting himself out of his comfort zone. That's moment 2, the whole conversation scene.
When I met you, your arrogance and conceit, your selfish disdain for the feelings of others made me realize that you were the last man in the world I could ever be prevailed upon to marry.
Forgive me.
That's cinema. I do feel like a lot of films, this just happens where I feel like there's a problem and then for some reason it doesn't truly get resolved. They just kind of like move past it. And that's not what Pride and Prejudice is at all, okay, girlies? No, he writes a very detailed letter being like, look, you think I did this, this, and this, and some things I did do, but these are the reasons why. I thought I was helping my friend, and Mr. Wickham is actually a pretty bad guy. Like, no, they both have to work at understanding each other and their shortcomings, and realizing that, like, even when they make mistakes, it's actually showing that their character is, like, they truly care about the people around them. And that, I think, is truly beautiful and timeless.
May I see you back to the village?
No. I'm very fond of walking.
Yes. Yes, I know.
Guys, that scene is actually so important because, let me tell you, remember earlier I was like, she says she likes to walk. Remember, guys? Keep that in mind. In this scene, Mr. Darcy's like, can I walk you back? And Elizabeth's like, no, I like to walk. And he's so earnestly, like, the performance I think is so beautiful how earnestly he's like, yes, yes, I know. He pays attention to her, he cares about her once. And I think that's such a beautiful moment. I feel like men think that they have to have riz, they have to like trick women into thinking they're really confident, have no insecurities, and are like this weird alpha thing. And I just don't think that's the case of, first off, reality. And then secondly, like what girlies truly respond to. I guess I can only speak for myself. I don't know how many more things there are beautiful, especially in a partnership, than it doesn't have to be a man, a person, you know, paying attention to you and respecting and caring about things that you care and respect also. And I just think there's something really beautiful too when a person's like, I know you. Like that hits, bro. When someone's like, I know you, like I know this is how you are, what you like. That's very beautiful. And on top of that, okay, in this scene, which I think maybe not a lot of people might have realized, is that Elizabeth tells him no. And Mr. Darcy isn't like, but, oh, I want to, but no. Mr. Darcy's like, I know you like to be alone. And the scene just goes on. Like, she walks home. And that's very important. And there's just countless examples.
There you go.
What? No.
No?
No.
Why not?
I don't know, because I don't want to.
Will you? Or will you not go out with me?
Go out with him, honey.
Okay, fine. I'll go out with you.
No, don't do me any favors.
No, I want to.
You want it?
Yes!
And that's not consent, boys and girls. It really isn't.
And the Mr. Darcy technique is in great contrast, exactly the opposite to what we see from Mr. Boiled Potato Man.
I am honoured by your proposal, but I regret that I must decline it.
I know ladies don't seek to seem too eager.
Mr. Collins, I am perfectly serious.
I flatter myself, cousin, that your refusal is merely a natural delicacy. So I must conclude that you simply seek to increase my love by suspense.
Sir.
According to the usual practice of elegant females.
Sir.
Mr. Collins is literally on some females don't want to look too eager. That's why she's saying no, because they're females. Baloney.
For some reason, we treat this heteronormative, like, wording thing as, like, a girl saying no a million times and men being like, that, you mean yes? And God, that has terrifying implications. So this is also, like, so important. He gives her the letter, but he's not, like, you know, sending pigeons every day being like, take me back, Elizabeth. You're wrong about me. No, he explains himself, okay? And then he gives her space. And all of these things are really important and truly not what you see when you watch romantic films, okay? And finally, the last nail on the coffin, right? Mr. Darcy realizes the mistake he created on Elizabeth's family. He's like, Mr. Bingley, I was wrong. We gotta get your girl. And he does more than that. He also helps Elizabeth's other sister. Like, he does really substantial things. It's like, not like just dumb shit, but like, let me buy you this, let me call you pretty.
I have to turn down the music, but bros, the music in this scene is stunning. Cinematography stunning. The colors gorgeous. The scene gorgeous. Mr. Darcy, alright, the way we're holding on him walking towards us in his little unbuttoned shirt and his tight pants. This is girl gaze. We can stare at Darcy as he makes his way to proclaim his love to Elizabeth. We are quite literally in the perspective of Elizabeth, okay?
After what you have done for Lydia, and I suspect for Jane also, it is I who should be making amends.
You must know. Surely you must know it was all for you. I believe you spoke with my aunt last night and has told me to hope, as I'd scarcely allowed myself before. If your feelings are still what they were last April, tell me so at once.
Last April? It's been that long.
My affections and wishes have not changed. But one word from you will silence me forever. However, your feelings have changed. I would have to tell you. You have bewitched me, body and soul, and I love you. And never wish to be parted from you from this day.
So good, bros. I am tearing up. LMAO. I'm just a girl, guys. I'm just a girl. And
Sorry guys, gotta cut that shit down. But gorgeous. Gorgeous, beautiful, right? Amazing, stunning, show-stopping, spectacular. Everything, all the above. So that's it, fellas. I hope you took your notes. I hope you saw just like how special also this Pride and Prejudice is in showing us and teaching us what is romance, what is a relationship, what are the things that women in particular, you know, it doesn't have to just be women, feminine people, whatever, value. It may not truly be the things that we're constantly being taught. It's not like the alphas, the fighting against the no's, this or that. No, it's very much the listening is so important. The truly knowing someone. That even when it's uncomfortable, you still try to push yourself out of your comfort zone to meet them somewhere and show them this is how I care about you. I'm gonna try the things, right? That's what Mr. Darcy does. That's the Mr. Darcy technique. And you guys should apply it. See how that works.